Cool. Thank you very much. I'm going to talk about productivity, but with a slightly different angle. First of all, I just want to know if I'm just talking to the right crowd about the right topic. Who here wants to make more money doing less? Just raise your hand. Okay, good. That's a good start. Who here wants to achieve more doing less? Who wants to have more fun? Who wants to feel more free? Okay, cool. I think we're at the right place, right time. Just a bit about me also for you to understand why I'm talking about that, and so that also you trust me and then I'm not saying bullshit and just out of nowhere. So as she mentioned, I speak 12 languages, done 4 TEDx. I am a filmmaker, but that's not really relevant, but I know it's numbers and we love numbers, especially when we're talking about productivity. But what I really want to talk about is more my personal journey that followed all that adventures, the TEDx, the movie, and all that. For, 6 years, we had a coaching center for languages in France, and it was running smoothly. Who here is just an independent worker, freelancer, or just raise your hand? I think these people relate to the idea of not having to go search for a client. People come to you and how good that is as a feeling. Do you relate to that? Yeah? Do you relate? Yeah. No, not having to go search for them. That's what we had in France. And we decided to leave all of that. We closed our school, which was just saying not answering emails anymore, and left for Australia. Just a personal experience, if you have a business that is running and people are coming after you, don't close it the way we did. It's like not fun then when you had the impression that everything was working for you, that you have to start from scratch. So that's what we did. We went to Australia and we traveled. Who did the working holiday visa or something like that? Just, okay, few people. So you know what I'm talking about. But we were entrepreneurs already. So we decided to start our own business there. And after 6 months in Melbourne, trying and doing things, was starting to work out for us. And the visa ended. So once again, when things started to work out, we left everything to go back to Europe. Did I mention don't do that? Yeah? So we arrived in Portugal, Lisbon, and just to know who here has lived in Lisbon or been to Lisbon more than a month, 3. Oh, wow, a lot of people. Yeah, it's a very huge city for digital nomads and travelers. But if you've been in Lisbon and tried to work there, there's one thing you probably know. People there have no money. Like you probably work with clients that are from the US and all, but locally it's very, very hard. So about January last year, all pumped from Australia because it's just like all the mentality of being full on and entrepreneurship constantly. We were like doing talks and say, we'll do our first workshop. And because we don't know the market and we feel that people there have no money, we'll make it very, very, very cheap. 35 euros for a 3-hour workshop. Ridiculously cheap. And what people came to say to us was like, I'd love to attend. I think my business needs that. This is very much, I know that would make me go to the next step, but I can't afford it right now. It was, I don't know how to say that, crushing. All our ambitions of like saying we'll have our own business and do things in Portugal or here. At these particular moment, they were just completely, actually like a paper ripped into pieces. And we are there January last year, not knowing if we can succeed in doing anything with our what we're trying to do there. Where 1 year later, what we were charging then per hour has been multiplied by 20. We have made what we've done in the first 3 quarters last year, we've made it in the last quarter last year. In the first quarter this year, we've made more than the last year. Does that sound exciting? Yes. Who wants that? In 1 quarter, do more than last year. Who wants that? Just raise your hand, please. Say, yeah, I want that. Yeah. Cool. So this is what I'm talking about. And do you think this was a lot of work? I can hear you. Was this a lot of work? Go from multiplying by 20 our fees, that we spend our days on our computer optimizing our funnels, doing automation and all that. Who thinks that's what we did? No one?
Mental work.
Mental work. I would be more precise, emotional work. And that if you're here for me to tell you, guys, you have to wake up at 6 a.m. and do a cold showers 25 times a day, wrong talk. I'm here to tell you, do less. Be more. Does that sound good?
Yeah.
Okay. Now, I just want you to follow me on the journey I've gone throughout this year. But there's one thing very important that I think it's important to phrase right now. You know what is the worst way of learning?
Mistakes.
Sorry? The state?
Mistakes.
Mistakes. Oh. Okay, that's an interesting one. Now, I was talking about learning practices. The worst way to learn is to read a book. Close second is to listen. So have you ever, just out of curiosity, have you ever been to a conference, a talk, and you said, that was very interesting, very inspiring, and 2 months later, you ended up having done nothing? Raise your hand if that happened to you once. Raise your hand if it happens to you many times. And you're like, yeah, it was very interesting, very inspiring, but I learned nothing. So the only way to learn is to do the real thing. So how are we going to do that? Well, I invite you to stand up right now because I want to make sure that you learn most of it. I want you to stand in a superhero state, whatever that means for you, and I'm going to guide you through that. This is ready for action. I want superheroes that are at peace because they know they don't have to do. That's like doing. I just want you to be more. And take up a couple of breaths there. So that's good. I see a lot of superheroes there. Now I want to be more guiding you in that superhero. Oh, that's interesting. The superhero, first, I will follow this movement just for a second. I want you to take your shoulders as far as you can, and both at the same time, just trying to show you. And just up, all the way up, and all the way back. And when they're back and you feel that's very not natural, you drop. But you leave them at the back, not there. You don't do this. You leave them here. That make sense? Okay, let's do it again. And we're going to breathe through it. Once again. Okay, let's do it more. Okay, commit to it by opening up what is called here your heart and just. So what happens is most of the time we spend our life with the shield on, ready to be attacked, or with the armor to say, don't attack me, I'm strong. What I want you to do is to find the middle position here, which is just in the center. Relaxing and removing tension. I see people that are still a bit here. Just relax. Let it go, let it drop. And now just breathe in that pose, but every time you breathe, feel more confidence entering your heart. And when you breathe out, you remove more and more tensions. When you breathe in, you feel the confidence entering directly to your heart. When you breathe out, relax. And because our voice is what is very deep in us, I want you to say things, okay? So what I want us to say together is, I am a superhero. Are you ready for that? And there's a thing. You are not shy, but your neighbor is. So I want you to be loud so that you allow your neighbor to feel confident in putting their voice out there. Does that make sense? Yes. Does that make sense? Yes. Oh, that's good. Okay, so we'll just practice once and we'll do it maybe a couple of times. So we're going to breathe together in that pose. And on the count of 3, we're going to say all together, I'm a superhero. I didn't say breathe with me. Everyone is. Okay, breathe in. 1, 2, 3. I am a superhero! That sounds good. Now, the thing that is very important is that you don't say it for me, because I don't care. It's about you, and you should care. So for that to make that clear, I will turn around. So we are all doing it towards the Nomad cruise. Okay? So breathe in. 1, 2, 3. I am a superhero! That sounded good. I just wanted to do it last time, but this one we're going to hold on the O all together. Is that all right? Do you hear me? Do you understand? Yeah, cool. So we're going to breathe in. 1, 2, 3. I am a superhero! Whoa, that's a room full of superheroes. Give your partner a hand five and grab a seat. Now, it's the thing here, we're just practicing things and I want to go as deep as I can in the time we have. But I know it needs to take time at the beginning so that you allow yourself to go deeper and deeper in whatever we are going to do. Does that make sense? Yes. Does that make sense? Yes. We're on the clock here, huh? Does that make sense? Yes. Cool. So the first thing is about productivity is we want to understand what we want to produce, right? It doesn't matter how much we work, how much time we spend, and how much we produce if we produce shit. Do we agree on that? So we want to make sure what the time we invest and the energy we invest it for the right thing. Who here wants to make $1 million business, make $1 million? Just show your hand, don't be shy. So you're also allowing the people around you to raise their hand. Okay, we have a lot of millionaire minds in the room. Cool. Who wants to impact millions of people? Cool. Positively was implied. Who wants just to have the nicest house for them, their family, their children, whatever that means for you? Raise your hand. And I have just a question. Have you ever heard someone that got all of that and said, you know what, the millions, not really worth it. Even impacting millions of people's lives, not really worth it. Have you ever heard a story like that? A friend of mine was telling me 2 weeks ago, he made his first million when he was 25. That's pretty young to make $1 million. And he told me I was just like one day doing my accounting, seeing my net worth has just gone over 1 million. And he was ecstatic, he told me. So happy that he had achieved that goal he had set for himself for 24 hours. So we're going to stand up and just for yourself, while this is happening, I want you to go in this superhero state. Because I don't want to compete against that, but we're going to take that as an opportunity to practice. So go there in that posture and breathe in. Close your eyes so that you can focus highly on your feelings and feeling strong. And relax the tension in your shoulders. Maybe do the move once again. And drop. That was very quick announced. We can move on, but thank you for playing the game with me. So, he was happy and fulfilled for 24 hours after working his ass off for, 2 or 3 years. I don't think that's worth it. Because then what he did was setting a new goal, making 10 millions. And probably, would he have made 10 million? He would have set the goal of making 100. I want to share my personal journey in that. When, 10 years ago, I decided I wanted to make a movie. And I decided to do it against all odds. Everyone said, you can't do it, you have no experience, you know no one in the industry, you don't know how that works. And I decided, I don't care. I'm going to make a movie. It took me 6 months from the idea to the moment where I was in Argentina with a team filming for 6 weeks this documentary. 6 weeks later, we were back in Europe. And after 2 or 3 years of recovering of the pain of filming the movie, I decided to finish the movie. And so in total, it took me 5 years. And one day I received this, and I want to just go grab it. Because it was a very important moment for me. Because for a long time, my movie was an idea, then it was a file on a computer, which is very exciting, but much less exciting than holding something in my hand. And I received a box with 500 of those. I said, I made it. I have made a movie. Everyone told me I can't. It lasted for about 20 minutes. And then I realized, oh shit, now what do I do with these DVDs? What do I do with the movie? So that's when I realized I had to go all around the world now to show my movie. So an whole journey started again where I had to go and show people my movie. And I was applying for festival, it cost me thousands of euros again. And I was showing my movie, and I think when it hit hard was when I was at this Australian film festival where the movie was selected. There was the acknowledgement. Again, I felt like now I made it. I made the movie travel to Australia to be seen in a festival. This is, yes. And then people watched the movie and they said, the movie is about music in Argentina. And the whole purpose of the movie was to show that music, in my experience, should not be experienced as this. The audience here and the musician here. That actually we could all play music in a circle. The music belongs to us. Humans have been playing music for thousands of years. Now we make professionals and the other says, I'm not a musician. So that was the purpose of the movie. And people watch the movie and say, that's fantastic that people experience music like that in Argentina. And I was like, no, you don't get it. I just want to tell you we can all experience music like that. So what I started to do was to make people calm down before the movie screening started, gather in a circle, and sing together. In 15 minutes, I would take a crowd about this size, come to the front of the stage of the theater, and sing. Even people telling me, you won't see me sing, they were dancing. 15 minutes. I had spent 5 years, 10,000 euros, which was a big amount of money for me, and a lot of pain to make that movie being seen, to do something I could do in 15 minutes. What I want to say here is it's very important that you don't forget the actual goal. I was so focused on making that movie that I forgot that my goal was not the movie, was to bring back people in a circle where they can experience music together. I hope by saying that, you already have an idea of one of your goals and how that could translate to that. But because I just don't want to hope, we're going to practice. So who here just has a 1-year vision, has a rough idea or very clear idea where they want to be in 1 year? Or some things they want to experience in 1 year? You know, I want to be free, I want to have quit my 9 to 5. It doesn't have to be precise. Who has a vision of where they want to be in 5 years? Or what they want to have created? Beautiful. In 10? 40? 40? I have a couple of people that are planning for 40 years. Who has a 100-year vision? I do. So the challenge here is to focus on what is the first vision you can have for yourself so that we can find the shortest path. Does that make sense? Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. So in a second, I'm going to ask you to close your eyes and to do some visualization. Also, just to know, who does visualization in the room? So that's a lot, that's great. So the idea here is it's very important to close your eyes. And I know people are just staring at me while I'm saying, I don't know what's going to happen between us, but even if we're still together in 5 years and 10 years, I probably will have changed. So it will be easier for you if you close your eyes to actually see what your futures look like. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Cool. Are you in for the music? So, I want you to stay in your position, but stand maybe a bit straighter. Have this superhero pose, even though you're sitting. Sorry? No, so keep sitting, but just make sure you still have your back straight. I want you to be comfortable, but also very open to expand. I want you to go as far as you can in your vision. Maybe you go 1 year from now. And see something that you really want to have and see you having it. A goal that you have been having for a very long time. And see you getting there. Hear what you would hear then. And if you can, allow yourself to go a bit further in that vision. You are already there. All the ambitions you had, you managed to achieve it. What would you do if you could not fail? You have maybe 5 more years ahead of you. What would you do if you could not fail? Allow yourself to dream big. Don't limit yourself. You have all the potential it takes to go further and further in that vision. Keep breathing in and opening your heart. See yourself getting everything you're dreaming of. See you there. Hear the people being so proud of you. The people that matter for you. They are so proud. Receive that and allow yourself to go even further. Go further. Be bolder. Dare to dream big. Don't limit yourself in what you are capable of doing, because you're capable of much more than you think that you can do. Everything you are trying to achieve, you succeed. One thing after the other. How far can you go? How does that make you feel? Feel the pride. Feel the success. Feel the joy. Breathe in the joy. Grow taller. Expand. See yourself there. Hear what you would hear. And feel how that would make you feel. Stick to that feeling. Slowly come back to this room, but keep that feeling very alive in you and let it grow in you. This feeling is what you're really after. So don't lose it. Hold on to it. Whenever you're ready, come back to this room and open your eyes. I've done that exercise many times. The more you do it, the further you can allow yourself to go in that vision. And I just want to share my dream, my vision, my 100-year vision, because I know it's crazy and I'm proud of my craziness. In my vision, I just see a world where everyone is allowing themselves to dream big, to be completely who they can be. That's what freedom is. I don't care if you're free to have everything you can have. I don't care if you're free to have everything you can do. What matters to me is I want to see people free to be whatever they want to be. And that's the vision I have. Not for just a couple of nomads. I want to see the whole planet living that way. And you can call me an utopist. I've given myself 100 years to get there. And all alone, obviously. And I was last year at Tony Robbins, and I was all pumped up with that vision. I was like, all going, all fire. Just like, I'm going to make a world of superheroes. And I was in that energy and going from event to event, coaching people and doing talks with my very big, bold vision. And it did not work out for me. Every time I was trying to get someone to become my client, I felt like it was not working. Like they were very interested. And then they said, but no. So even though I had this strong vision, something was in the way. Maybe I'm just going to talk to the ladies for a second. Have you ever been, did ever a guy come to you and you feel like he hasn't had sex for years? And he just wants you to be the one to break the spell? Yeah, because a couple of girls can relate to that. We can smell when people are desperate to get something. And I was so obsessed with my vision that it has become more important than the person I was talking to. I was like, I know I will help you, but what matters most is that by helping you, you are helping this vision. And we don't want to be that person that feels used even for a beautiful vision. So I was like kind of the desperate single everyone was running away from. And I've tried many things, to overcome that and say, now I have seen that vision and I've seen a clear path between me and that vision. I always feel very drunk on that boat. And my mentor, who is a very wise person, said, you need serenity. He's kind of like the turtle in Kung Fu Panda. He doesn't say much, but then I spent a month thinking about it, so he just said that. And I was like, what does it mean, serenity? I don't have the money right now. Literally, we were talking about this story earlier. It's like, in October, I think it was, we had minus 80 euros on an account. We had, the other bank account was closed for some reason, and the moment we went to withdraw money with the last card we had, it got eaten up by an ATM. And that's about the moment my mentor tells me, you have to be more serene. And I had no clients coming in except from the old things I used to do, which was not paying much and it was not serving my vision. But I decided to try. Does that make sense? The idea of bringing serenity when everything seems not to be working out, does it sound crazy to you? Just raise your hand if that sounds crazy to you as much as it did you sound crazy to me when you said that. No, you're a very wise crowd. What that meant was, one of the things that it implied, that in order to make things work, I had to learn to say no. So that at this moment when people were like, can you coach me and do language coaching, which is what I used to do, with minus 80 euros on my bank account, what he told me to do was say no. Can you feel that little thing? That's money you're telling me to say no to, and I really need money. I think you don't feel the pain. So I want you to imagine just for a second, for some reason, you can't access your money, or you have minus on your bank account, and someone is giving you money for something, and you look at them in the eye and you say, no, thank you. Can you just picture that for a second?
I have done that.
Huh?
I have done that in my life.
Congratulations. Very wise crowd. It's so hard in this moment of doubt, but what I learned from this experience is that you have to bring the serenity because you're like so confident in the vision. So you get rid of the despair of saying yes to people you don't want to work with or work for, so that you can leave the space for what you really want. Within 10 days, we closed our first coaching clients, having multiplied by 10 our fees. How does that sound? That's all you don't want. Okay, let's do that. Close your eyes for a second. See how much you earn, and you are paid for that work. Add a 0 at the end. With people that are happy to pay you 10 times more. How does that feel? And imagine that once you've done that, true story, your client says, you know what? You're undercharging. You should multiply your fees by 2 to start with. How does that feel? To have people that are so happy for what you provide to them that they want to pay you more against all your emotional challenges to accept that money. Can you close your eyes? No. So that's what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about hustling. Why would I work 10 times harder to make 10 times the money when I can just multiply what I earn by 10? By just raising my fees by 10. Who wants to do that? They're like, no, people want to work hard, apparently. What? Who wants to multiply by 10 what they earn for the same amount of time? Okay, some people do like to work hard. Maybe you want to multiply by 20 what you earn per hour. Who wants to do that? The question is, can you provide 20 times more value? And that is a question our client asked us by saying, multiply your price by 2. Can you create the space to create more value? And that's what we've been doing. We just started refusing clients so that we can focus on the ones that do pay a lot of money. And we spend so much great time. We go to dinner. I could go on holidays. I could go on a cruise with them. Who wants to have these kind of clients? Just for the people not raising their hand, can you just shout out why you don't want people to pay you 20 times more to be working with people that you could go on holiday with? I just want to understand, and just generally I want to understand. I've been afraid, and when he told that, we were shaking at night when he said, multiply your price by 2. We were like, what does he mean? What does he mean? We're already multiplied by 10 in a year. Moving from 1 to 10 was already a big thing, but multiplying by 2 at that stage was also very emotionally challenging. What I want you to talk about is, and I said earlier, is the problem is a lot of productivity talks are all about how you can do more. To be able to earn 20 times more in the same amount of time and charge that, it's not about doing more. It's about being more. It's about being confident, I'm worth it. I have value to provide. And I don't know about you guys in the room, but that's a challenge I had. Saying, who am I to make in 1 hour what most people don't even do in a month, and if actually a bigger majority doesn't even do in a year? Who am I to deserve that? I still don't know, but apparently they do, my clients. So it's this emotional journey of overcoming the fear of who I am. Now, the question is also, and before I wrap things up, is what creativity can you unleash once you're paid 10 times more? Obviously, you won't be doing the exact same task because you will be working for people that want 10 times more value. So you will have space maybe to hire people. That's a lot of way of contributing. You can create some crazy things. I want to take people on a mystery trip for my coaching so that I can provide a unique experience to them. That's something I cannot do if I charge them 1,000 euros. It doesn't even pay for the flights, if that makes sense. So it's how you can unleash the creativity once you pay 10 times more. Now, I want to be conscious of time. It's over. So, that's what I'm saying. I want to be conscious of time. I want to wrap things up. With Daria, we work on these visions with leaders. So we have decided maybe just after to work on the 10-year vision for the people that don't have this clarity, or even the people that have this clarity and want to go further. At 7, at the library. And also, because as we said, there might be other questions. I had received a lot of questions while I was on the cruise. I'm really open to receive your questions, so reach out to me. Obviously, I use the question time intentionally so that you have to make the effort to come to me with your question, and I will make a video so that if you have this question, probably someone else in the room has this question. So that I will share that with Boris, that you can transfer it to everyone. But before I finish, I just want you to use one very small minute and stand up. Stand up and go back to this superhero pose. And close your eyes and go back to the vision. Go back to your vision and go as far as you went when you last were about to open your eyes. This vision is showing you the feeling you want to have in 5 years, in 10 years, in 20 years, or maybe just next year. But that's the feeling you are after. You're not after things, you are after feelings. Now I want you to get this feeling and let it grow in your heart every time you breathe in. And every time you breathe in, you'll try maybe to push it further in your body so that it reaches the top of your arms, your fingertips, your toes, the top of your head. You want this feeling to grow in you. This feeling is where you want to go. You have it in you right now, and this is your compass. This is showing you the way of what you want to do and leading you in every decision you want to make from now to that vision you have for yourself in the future. Keep that feeling when you open your eyes, and I'm thanking you for your attention.